AITAH for not being sure if I want to tell my mom about my dad's affair. I 20F just discovered that my dad 52M is cheating or at some point cheated on my mother 61F in the past few years. To begin, my parents got married when my mom was 6 months pregnant with me 20 years ago. They have been together ever since and never have had a separation. Even when I was younger, I knew their marriage was strained, mostly because my mom can be hard to deal with. She's very stubborn and driven but can be mean and insensitive to how others feel. She complains a lot and makes passive-aggressive comments often. This is not to say I don't love my mom, I do, but we've never been as close as I am to my dad. My dad has been great since I was a kid. He always wanted a daughter, and when he married my mom, he gained 4 stepsons, but they were all 16 and older and had good relationships with their dads, so he never raised them in the same way he raised me. All my brothers love my dad because he's truly a sweet, hard-working person. I've never had a bad relationship with my dad. He was always fun and loving towards me. Every 2 weeks he would take me to the movies and dinner, just us since I was 10 till I moved out at 18. We still do dinner and movies, but not as often because I live about an hour away and am a full-time student. During 2020, my mom and dad's relationship took the most notably turn I'd seen. My dad is an estatal worker, so still had to work through the pandemic. They became slightly distant as my mom was not the kindest to be around during this time, and my dad was constantly exhausted from working and being afraid he would get me sick. I'm immunocompromised. Things started to get better as the world got better until about a year ago. My mom started to live in Florida. For context, we have always lived in Texas and my father and I still do. They were not separated and still aren't. It's always been her favorite place to be, so she moved in with a roommate and got a job doing home health with a patient she loves. Since then, she's lived in Florida and has come back to visit for about 5 to 7 days at a time every couple months. Because my mom only works part-time, my dad had to send her money often, and she once took money out of my student loan to pay her rent. She put it back after 3 weeks, but she never asked me if she could. My dad was frustrated during this time because he missed his wife, and she started pushing to say she wants to sell their house and says my dad should move up there. Again, for my dad's company, he cannot leave because he will lose all his progress towards retirement. There are no factories near where my mom is living, the closest is 6 hours away. This caused more strain because my dad started to really get frustrated with my mom because he had told her over and over that he wouldn't be able to move because that would comprise his retirement plan and 401k. I was starting to become frustrated with my mom too, because every time she would come to visit, she would complain about how much she loves Florida more than here and that she always feels worse physically when she's down here. Now in the present, my mom had a dispute with her roommate and moved back to Texas as she is supposed to have a complex spinal surgery that has a year-long recovery time. The surgery was scheduled for June, but now it has been moved to September. Her and my dad are supposed to take a trip to where she was previously living so they could relax and spend some time together, but now she is planning on moving back to Florida until she has to have surgery. Me and my dad talked about it and both said we'd be happy if she went because she's clearly unhappy here and wants to stay in Florida. I truly want whatever is best for my mom and just know that she would be better mentally if she was back to living up there. But this morning, my dad got 2 emails. I only know this because for some reason on my MacBook, the mail and calendar apps sometimes transfer stuff from my dad onto my iCloud. I never check my iCloud mail because I mainly just use Gmail, but today I was intrigued because it was from a woman I'll call Molly. This was the first email. I leave for Arkansas tomorrow and I'll be deactivating all my social media for an undetermined amount of time. It's not permanent, but I wanted you to know because I don't want you to think I've deleted or blocked you. I will never delete you. I will never block you. I just need a break and I need to focus on me and doing the work to be the best Molly I can be. Scott, I was at more peace with you that week than I have been in 20 years or more. And I know you felt the same. I love you, and I know you love me. I just want the best for you, and I just believe we are it for each other. I know it wouldn't be ideal with the distance, but I know it would work. I am constantly preoccupied with thoughts of you, wondering if I cross your mind. Wondering what you're thinking and how you're feeling. Wondering if you look at my Facebook page to check in on me. I never expected to have any real hope for us again, but you changed that and you can't take it back, and I wouldn't want you to take it back. I love you forever and always. I assume my dad responded with something, but I couldn't find that email. Here is the second one. What you did to me was wrong and unfair, and I deserved better than that. In the same way, my marital unhappiness was not your problem to deal with or shoulder. Yours is not mine. I allowed you to give me hope, and I allowed it to happen. So, I'll accept my blame, but you just walked away as if nothing happened and left me blindsided and heartbroken. Again, I will never understand why you did that to me." There was another email that wasn't deleted from 2020, but it didn't sound romantic to me, and I assume it was just them getting back into touch. I looked her up and realized her and my dad went to the same high school. I am truly at a loss for what to do. Even though my parents' marriage hasn't always been the best, I know they love each other. I feel like I need to talk to my dad about this first, but I don't even know what to say. A part of me that I feel really guilty about just wants to pretend I never saw it and move on, because my parents' relationship is theirs and not mine, and I truly don't want to be in the middle of it. Because I'm scared that deep down I know that if I was to tell my mom or ask my dad to talk to her about this, that my mom would make me choose sides and be furious with me if I didn't pick any sides or if I didn't pick hers. I completely believe that cheating is terrible and wrong, as I have been cheated on before, but now being put in between my parents' marriage, I'm at a loss because of it is terrifying. Also, selfishly, I really don't want my relationship with my dad to change. I am so angry and hurt about him doing this, but we've always been so close in a way I've never had with my mom. He's truly a rock in my life, because throughout a lot of trauma I've had, he has always been there for me and never made me feel bad about what happened to me. I'm currently stuck. I do not feel ready to deal with this yet and may not be able to for a few weeks. I have an anxiety disorder and fear I may mess this up if I rush into things. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. So AITA for being hesitant to tell my mom about my dad's affair.